Morning, Sharks. My name is Mac. I'm the CEO. With me is Ryan, our COO, Luigi, our CMO, Bella, our CFO, and finally Will, our intelligence expert. And together we are Aqua. Now, it has been determined that 75% of Americans suffer from chronic dehydration. This is due to a lack of water intake during and after exercise. Now, water takes up 85% of our brain, 80% of our bloodstream, and finally 70% of our lean muscle. Since 4/5 of our body is made of water, a lack of water, also known as dehydration, creates a serious problem for one's health.
So Margaret Bradley, age 24, was a medical student at the University of Chicago. Back in 2004, she attempted the Grand Canyon run. It was long and it was really hot out, and she didn't have enough water, so she was dehydrated and she actually died while running it. And so this shows that all the health conditions with dehydration are serious, such as fevers, low blood pressure, and a rapid heartbeat. And luckily, there's Aqua. And so we hope to prevent future dehydration cases with the Hydro Pouch and the Aqua Shirt. So the Hydro Pouch is just a bit simple pouch, but it has a straw. So when you're using your Aqua Shirt, which is another product of ours, it has a pocket on the back, like this. And so what you can do is you can unstrap these straps. You can take the pouch, put it right into the pocket, and then it's going to have a straw that's going to come up over the shoulder, and so the runners can use it while they're running. And this is going to be a compression shirt, so it's going to stay nice and firm against the body. And this can help out people with any kind of runs, and this will be very helpful in the future.
As for our proposed structure, the startup cost for our business is $49,898. This consists of our startup cost of $47,898 with a $2,000 liquidity cushion. Now let me take you through the proposed structure. In exchange for $49,898, the company is proposing 16.7% ownership in our business, with a post-money valuation of $298,364.
Now, for our total addressable market, we would be making $27,558,085. From the U.S. population, we took 41.3%, because according to U.S. Department of Transportation, that is the amount of people that actually ski, run, bike, or hike. We also took the amount of children off, because we're only focusing on the adult market, and multiplied this number by our average price, that is $60.65. Altogether, our serviceable addressable market would be of $49,600, and that is because we're only focusing on Lake and Cook counties for now. We do not have any direct competitor because our technology is not used before, that is using the shirt as a carrying mechanism. We do have two indirect competitors, which would be Osprey and Camelback. But two big differences between us and those two companies is that they use heavy backpacks that are needed for athletes, and their average prices are $200 for Osprey bag and $110 for Camelback, while our average price would be of $60.
For our MVP, with the money we obtained from our first pitch, we bought 6 prototypes. With that, we did 18 total tests. We did 10 2-week tests, 6 1-week tests, and 2 3-week tests. After these tests, we gave our testers a questionnaire with 6 basic questions. First was, what do you like about our product? Then we asked them what they disliked about our product. Third, we asked them what was necessary, or what was useful while you were using our product while exercising. Then we asked them what was unneeded while you were exercising. Fifth, we asked them how much they would pay for our product. And finally, 6th, and most important, would you buy our product? Thankfully, through our testers, we gained vital information and gave potential customers in the process. 16 of our 18 testers claimed that they would buy our product if we put it on the market today. The other 2 said that they would buy our product if we made a few specific changes to it.
And so now in the future, we plan on going to other local 5Ks. We plan on going to 10Ks, local half marathons, and then also we plan on going to the Chicago Marathon in the future.
And for our key metrics, we're proud to announce that during our MVP that we not only achieved our goals, we went well over them. We had hoped during our MVP to achieve 500 website views, and we went well over that, and we achieved 900 website views with a 4.2% return rate. We'd also had hoped to get 50 surveys filled out, and we had 52 filled out, and 48 of whom said that they would buy our product upon release. We also received their email so we could keep in contact with them. For Facebook and Twitter, we didn't quite make our goals. We had a goal of 25 likes and followers, and we only achieved 24 likes and followers. But we did learn something really valuable through this. Kind of our customer segment of runners and bikers and like these active lifestyle, kind of our customers, aren't necessarily on social media as much as we had kind of predicted that they would be. But we also learned how we could get in touch with them. We learned that the best way to contact our customers is through going to walks and runs. So a few weekends ago, we went to the Mother's Day 5K at Citizens Park, put on by Let It Be Us. And there we set up a table and we let people try on our prototypes. We gave them some water and we had them fill out surveys. This is where the bulk of our surveys filled out. And we really had an awesome time and we got in contact with our customers, and we're gonna hope to do more of these throughout the summer and more local stuff.
So like said before, for the Hydro Pouch and Aqua shirt together, it would cost an average of $60.65. And for each separate Aqua shirt, it would cost an average of $32.66. And this all depends on what type of shirt they would want to buy, either the regular sleeve, the tank, or the long sleeve. And for revenue assumptions, we plan to see a growth of purchases during the warm months and in the colder months, just because you see a lot more runners and bikers during the summer than in the winter. And in Chicago, there's no way to really tell what the weather is. Now for the cost of goods sold, we have, for the Aqua shirt and Hydro Pouch together, it would cost $26.86. And for each separate shirt, it would be $10.96. And we got this number through our manufacturer who actually built the prototype. They said that this was the number, this would be the price that we'd have to pay through materials as well as labor, like putting the Hydro Pouch and Aqua shirt together. Now for our SG&A, we've got administrative costs and marketing costs. Now for the administrative costs, we have things such as filing fees, accounting fees, rent, insurance, as well as trademarks. And for the marketing costs, that's the main portion of our SG&A. We have things that we want to hope to buy later, such as flyers, surveys, promotional items such as water bottles, tents, stands, as well as banners to help promote our company through the running events, biking events, and other sports occasions that we talked about. And overall, here's what our 5-year model looks like. As you can see, year one, we are a bit low, but the fortunate part of it is that we have no cumulative losses, which means up to year 5, we get up all the way to that point, which we feel that number is realistic to our company, and so we know we're able to achieve these numbers and even surpass these numbers through what we learned through our key metrics and MVP.
As to our exit plan, we hope to have an exit for the investor by the end of year 3 by selling to a wholesaler on both a local and viral level, such as Dick's Sporting Goods or Sports Authority. Finally, we have an IRR of 48.9% and a money multiple of 2.9 times.
Overall, we can all agree that dehydration is a serious problem. We want that Hydro Pouch should be a quick, accessible way for athletes to hydrate while on the move. If you have any questions, please let us know. We'll be happy to answer. Thank you for your time, and remember, stay hydrated.
What was the result of you said you did some user survey results. What kind of feedback did you get from them?
We actually got feedback based on how they felt about our product, like what they liked, what they disliked, what was useful to them. We also asked them quite specific questions, like about the pouch on the back, based on height, length, and width of it. Weight as well. And we're sticking with the 1 liter based on some of the feedback we got, because 2 liters and 3 liters would get kind of heavy for people to carry.
What modifications did they suggest you make?
The modifications such as wearing a compression shirt so it doesn't pull down on the back was very important towards us. Also having the pouch pocket higher, so it will create less drag on the back, so you can reach your peak time if you're running or biking.
Does your prototype include those modifications?
They do not. We're thinking about making another prototype, but we do not have enough time for that, unfortunately.
Did you do a patent search on the product?
We did, and the only patents we could find was their camelback and their backpacks.
Great, that's great.
Did Ms. Mack, did you actually have people run with that shirt?
Yes, we had 18 tests in total. I
They
believe-
ran with it?
Yes, they ran with it, they biked with it. We had a couple people hike with it as well. And also one skier tested it out while they were skiing.
Okay.
Got
And good positive feedback?
Yes, for the most part, good feedback.
Help me understand, you're targeting some 3Ks and 5Ks, and there's a lot of water stands, as you probably know, when you run 3 and 5Ks. So what is your product unique there? Because every 3/4 mile, half mile, they have water stations to grab. So help me understand.
So, well, at the beginning, we take pride in the fact that we're innovative, that we're the only company with a shirt-based carrying mechanism.
Yeah.
So in the beginning and in the end of the race, we plan to set up booths so where they can see our product, they can take flyers, and they can end the race strong.
So is it more for marketing for them to buy it when they're not in these type of environments? And you're targeting the everyday runner that's not in a marathon or not, right? Is that my?
Well, we're targeting people who can run marathons, run through trails, who bike, who do many different types of running.
Yeah, so, couple things. When you're running I've run more than 24 marathons. When you're running a 5K and a 10K, the appreciation for dehydration is far less. Because you're only running for 17 minutes or maybe 35 minutes. So I think your market needs to look at what Greg's talking about, the casual runner that's running long distances just for exercise, not necessarily for speed, and then focus on your half marathon and your marathon runs. When you have this on your back, it's tight enough to not bounce. So I agree with the 1 liter versus 2 liter. Tell me about the straw mechanism. What does that look like in an effort? So if I'm running here, where does this straw stay here so I don't have to go reach behind me
Well, what the
again?
straw does, it connects from the back. It's about 6 inches, 6 to 8 inches. It'll connect through a loop that comes right through here. So all you have to do is pick it up a little bit and drink out of it.
Do you have a prototype?
Now, this is the information we gained from our testers. So
Make that straw longer than you think. Get it to the middle of your stomach because it might bounce around and you need some kind of securing mechanism in the front because I don't want to have to reach back here because it could go back behind. I need it right here. In market events that market more towards my suggestion, market more towards the casual runner that's running distance, not that the 5Ks and 10Ks, they might not even drink. Because it's not that long of a distance. Half marathons are going to be a much better market for you. I know the executive director of the Chicago Marathon fairly well, so I can make that introduction to get in front of them.
Am I
Hey, Bill.
remembering correctly that your long training runs, didn't you have to vary water?
Yeah,
along your
so
training
so
runs?
so I trained for marathons with Margarita's husband. We would go out and plant water 5 miles, 10 miles, 15 miles, and now I can maybe avoid that. So I've got a direct interest in this because it can fill a need that I don't want to have, that I have.
Is 1 liter enough for
Well,
a race like that?
no, it's not, but I'd be interested in trying that out because if you put 2 liters of water, now you're putting 5 pounds of water on your back. And most runners, if they're carrying, they carry on the bottom of their waist, but that's inconvenient because when you're mile 20, you don't remember your name and you can't reach around and grab it. If you have this straw, well, this is intriguing to me because the straw would be right here. Plus, if you're running in a race and you have a cup, you have to crack the cup and drink it, and you're going to choke a little bit because you can't run and drink at the same time. The straw alleviates that.
Precious seconds.
It's
Could you
precious.
elaborate on your cost a little bit?
The
Cost of
cost,
the shirt, yeah, I mean, was
Okay.
it based on a quantity of 1,000 or?
well, we just looked at like the different types of shirts. Like again, a compression shirt is a lot more expensive than like a regular shirt.
Right.
Like at Dick's Sporting Goods, they can go from like $40 to $60 to $50 in that range. And then also looking back at like Camelback's prices, Camelback can go again like from $100 to $200.
So where did you come up with the $26 for?
That's
Oh, that's through the
Wholesale.
manufacturer.
So you
Casey.
talked to the manufacturer?
Yeah, Casey Creations made these for us, and they said that that was the price that we had to.
Based on a quantity of
Based on
one
a
or
quantity of
That's-
6.
1,000?
Based on a quantity of 6.
Well, $26 is the cost of one, but we got
Yeah,
6.
but what I'm saying is, you know, at some point in time, you're gonna be selling 2,000 of these.
Of course, the more we produce, the less we're gonna pay per
And you know how
piece.
significant the breaks are?
Not as right now,
You
but
can go back to the vendor and say, okay, what if we buy this in quantities of 1,000, what's the cost there? And that would make a huge difference, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Can you talk to us about your distribution channels? What did you do during this second semester to learn about acceptance or challenges? in
Well, that
area?
was mainly based off of us going out and asking the people what they would like. Obviously, we're going to sell our product through our website and hopefully make it our way into retail stores such as Barrington Running Co., different bike shops around the area. So we're planning on going through retail stores.
Did
selling
you
our product.
have any conversations with like Dick Hans or the Barrington Running Store?
Actually, I did talk to the man, Mr. Kodasak. He works at Barrington Running Co., and he said he would be very interested once we had a prototype. Unfortunately, he was gone away for running events, so we didn't get a time to talk to him or his wife who works there.
So tell Conasec that Carl Frick said he needs to wear this. We want this on him. We don't want him to sell it. We want him to wear it and get feedback. He's one that,
He's an
he wins
influencer.
races.
Yeah.
And his whole family wins races, and he's a huge influencer. Was there any different feedback between males and females that were wearing this?
Well, for this, it's a unisexual shirt, so it was just based on what fits people best. But I think during our progression of our company, we'll have different genders inside, different gender qualities for each shirt.
When you're doing this next test, I would focus a lot more on your female market, that it's going to be different, the body types are different, their hydration absorption is different, and I think that it may be an opportunity to enhance the look, make different colors, etc. Because
Cuts.
my wife's a runner, she's not putting this on. Because it's not pretty and it's not pink, so that's an opportunity for you to create another market.
As an investor, the thing that concerns me the most is that you don't have this patented yet. I think it's fantastic that you did the patent search. I'm so glad. 'Cause now I'm intrigued when I hear that you might actually be able to lock up the concept, because that will make it valuable to Dick's and so forth. So have you talked to an attorney about how much it will cost to get your patent filed? Because I think that's almost critical. This could be easy to replicate for somebody if they saw your idea and it wasn't patented.
Yeah, we talked to, I don't know, Bella talked to
My
somebody.
aunt is actually an attorney, and she said that it all really depends on, like, because we have, like, the tank and the different types of shirts, it just depends on which one we want to put out there.
So, but is the water pack on a shirt, what did you exactly search for the patent? The combination, or was it
The combination,
the
yes.
combination of actually putting a water pack on a shirt?
Yes,
The closest,
So
again, we could find was the Camelback and the Osprey bag.
and they just
Yeah.
have the concept of the backpack on the water pouch.
So the backpack is
The
patented,
backpack.
but a shirt is not.
Shirt is
And
not.
they're patent. I would really encourage you guys to go a little deeper into this and make sure that you read the actual detail of the patent with the backpack to make sure that it doesn't apply to general use of any item. Because that, to me, is the value of the company, is that you've got something innovative that would, and you could lock that up, and that would be, otherwise, you could do a great job on execution, and you may have somebody Dick's could just offer
We'll
their own.
just steal it.
Yeah, they'll
They're
just
gonna steal it.
produce, get a shirt manufacturer, put a pack on, and you guys are,
Yeah, that's part of our startup cost is to get the patent and.
How much did you include in your startup
Yeah,
cost?
could you go over
Yeah.
the startup costs and the,
Right.
requirements of capital?
The startup costs are $47,898, and that includes the patent, of course, legal documents, and insurance for our company.
But
Oh, it seems like a lot.
49,000, that's really high. There must be other stuff in there.
But they,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's just right there. Good.
Well, we also have a liquidity cushion of $2,000, which goes into the,
The startup costs.
yes.
You're the way off there, I mean, lawyers to look at a patent and legal paperwork and insurance.
Mhm.
5,000 bucks.
But we also have, like, if we wanted to purchase like a startup inventory.
Yeah, how many
That-
inventory?
yeah, that's the-
That's-
Yeah, sorry,
Let's start with
500,
It's 500.
500, yeah.
500 shirts?
Yes,
At
Okay, and what were they gonna
$26 each?
10 grand,
16 grand.
16 grand. We wouldn't be big fans, inventory's not great.
Yeah.
You want to stay away from inventory as much as possible when you're starting a company, because that just sits there and gets, it only goes down, it never goes up because you change models, so try to reduce that. If we said to you, what was your capital request, 49 grand?
Yeah, 49,000.
So if we said to you, what could you do for 20 grand, what would you say? 15
Uh,
grand.
15 grand, I'd say that we could definitely do the patent and insurance. Also, other legal documents would be included with that. I'm sure we can do less of an inventory. What we're gonna do is do it by trimester, so first 4 months, next 4 months, and the following 4 months. So we're gonna start with the first 4 months inventory, and we could probably lower that based on where we're gonna put our product.
How long does it take
15
you,
seconds.
how long does it take you to sew that on to get a shirt out?
The labor costs are just the,
How long, timeline? If you called somebody and said, I need 100, how long will it take them to get it to you?
I'd say stitching it on for one would probably take around maybe a minute. So we
What
bought.
I'm trying to get to is if we said go ahead and you don't have a lot of inventory.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank- Hi, I'm the coach of a college softball exposure team. My team and I have a really hard time getting to the right place at the right time.
Hi, I'm a mother of a travel baseball player, and weather delays are a huge issue. So there's got to be a better way to solve this.
I'm a player, and my parents drive me nuts when we go looking for these fields. My parents are directionally challenged, which leads me to a lot of stress trying to find our fields.
I've been an ump for 25 years, and with these new large sports complexes with 30 to 40 fields, I have no idea where to park in relation to my field.
So these are all very pertinent problems that need to be dealt with at youth sports tournaments across the nation. I know I've talked with some of you specifically, and you have even voiced to me as parents it's very difficult to find your field, and just basic tournament necessities that you need are missing. So who deals with this? Who deals with these problems that these people have voiced to you? So that would be tournament directors. Now, tournament directors, they have current tools, but we do not think they are good enough. We believe that we can revolutionize the way that youth sports tournaments are directed, and we believe that we can create a more efficient means of creating a better atmosphere for the audience of these tournaments. So, to begin, basically how our mobile application would be structured is you would open up the app, you'd be able to select your tournament and select your team from a very simple interface, and it would move on to our three-pronged approach. So these are the 3 problems that we have identified, and through our interviews we have been able to identify as the main problems that we need to solve. So number 1 would be interactive field maps. So as you can see on this graph, if you were to park in this spot right here, it's very accessible from the highway, and you have to come all the way across to this field, you would have to walk / possibly swim through these 3 conveniently placed lakes right in the middle of the tournament. So we need to solve this because, as Mitch stated, if he's been umping tournaments for years and years, and he's maybe elderly umpire, and you have grandparents as well as possibly moms who have young children as well as bags and chairs. This is really important to them because this will help them get to their field and not have to walk very long distances. So then our next feature would be push notifications. Now this is very important, especially in the Midwest. We are no stranger to bad weather here. And when it comes to sports, we have to deal with the same exact thing. We have games canceled all the time, and what the push notifications allow us to do is it creates a central hub of communication for the director to give the player, the coach, the umpires, as well as players, the ability to just look at this application, look at their phone, see where any games that are canceled or have been moved, which is very important. And then finally, our 3 S's, our schedule, our standings, and our stats. So the schedule is very important, basically to know where you're playing and when you're playing, in the simplest of terms. And then standings, you need this in order to foster competition at the tournament. This is very important to want people to keep coming back to this tournament, because without this, you lose a competitive nature of the tournament that you may not get if you don't have this. And then finally, as we move on as a business, we're looking to incorporate statistics into our business because I know that Kelly and I both play on travel baseball and softball teams. And I know that if there's stats at a tournament on an online app, that's new, that's big. And to be able to see that and be able to compare ourselves to other people at the tournament, that's really exciting. So that's how our app would work, and Grace is going to talk a little bit about our market.
Our market. Our total addressable market consists of 6,000 tournament complexes. We came up with this number because there are two tournament complexes per each county, roughly, and there are about 3,000 counties in the United States. So we multiplied those two together to get our total addressable market. As for our serviceable addressable market, we took the 1,000 counties that are in the Midwest, multiplied that by the two tournament complexes in each county, and got 2,000. But we split that in half because that in the 5-year plan, we feel that 1,000 tournament complexes are what we can handle. Moving on, our competitors, such as Turning Machine, Team Snap, and Game Changer, they're all great on their own, but what they're missing is an app that brings all of their features together and makes your day at the field a lot easier, a lot more successful. So, interactive field maps, our 3 S's, statistics, standing, and schedule, as well as our push notifications, puts us in a better position than all of our competitors.
The way we will be making money for our company is selling the app to the tournament directors who will then allow their attendees to use this app. Now, unlike other businesses in this class, we're going B2B, so that made us kind of change our marketing tactics for a little bit. So instead of going to the guerrilla marketing kind of aspect, throwing out t-shirts, handing out flyers, we're going to take more of a personal approach for marketing, whether that's making phone calls with these tournament directors, keeping in contact with email, but more importantly, going to these different coaching clinics. We'll be going to the coaching clinics in the spring where all the coaches come together, learn about the new tournaments, maybe some new rules that the IHSA might throw in every year, and basically sell them on the 3 S's that we have, the schedule, statistics, and standings. Basically, that's the 3 things we want to emphasize the most importantly on our business. Now, in our business, we have a sticky model, and that means we want to keep our customers coming for as long as possible and keep our churn rate as low as we can. We will do this by telling them that once you have worked with us one time, we will have your complexes for a lifetime, and year after year you come back, all you have to do is give us your information, we will simply input it into our system, and you will once again have a neat and organized tournament with happy attendees. We figured our estimated lifetime value for our company is around $300,000. We got this number by the 20 tournaments a tournament director will direct, times the $5,000, which is around the average cost we would say for a tournament, times the 3 years we want to keep this. We multiplied them all together to get our estimated $300,000.
Now for the numbers, because we're a free app, we have no COGS. That's why you don't see a difference between the revenue and the gross profit. As for our SG&A, our main cost is IT. We plan on spending 25% of our revenue on IT because we're a very technological company. We have to make sure our app doesn't shut down in the middle of a tournament because then people won't be able to access that. In years 3, 4, and 5, we're accessing a large number of tournaments, so we plan on hiring a sales staff to go out there and sell our product. And this is we plan on paying them 20% of commission. And as well, in years 1 through 5, you see a very large growth. Reason for this is because we don't have a lot of customers. In year 1, we only have 10 tournaments that we're servicing. We think that we can keep most, if not all, of those tournaments, as well as gain another 15 for year 2. Along with this, in years 3, 4, and 5, we plan on going to other sports, not just baseball, to soccer and lacrosse, and this would give us a wide range of tournaments to go to. How we're making money is we're charging $50 per team. So an entry fee for a tournament ranges from $300 to $1,500, and say entry fee is $600, we just ask the tournament to raise that to $650. And we set an average of costing me around $5,000. Because our app is servicing these large tournaments, there's going to be a lot of teams there. And say there's 100 teams, each team pays $50, that's $5,000. There can be more, there can be less, it just all depends. As well as in year 5, it's if you do the math, we're going to be servicing 300 tournaments. That seems like a lot, and this might not necessarily be 300 tournaments. For add-ons, for like live stats, for example, we plan on sending a team out to the tournament and having them at each game for live stats and updates, and this is going to cost them a lot more.
For our MVP, we created a landing page, and on our landing page, you can take a survey and they can give us feedback. We also have pictures of how our app works. The tournament directors we are trying to target run large tournaments down south, and unfortunately, we were unable to fly down and provide a concierge service, so instead we called a handful of them. We called Tom Davidson, who is from Pastime Tournaments. He gave us some great information, and he told us that charging $100 for a team is too much, and we'd be more successful if we lowered the price. We also called Curtis Kinsel, and he's also a well-known tournament director, and he told us that he currently has a current communication system on his website, but if we were to have weather delays on our app, that'd be very helpful, and he agreed that the price needed to come down. We also called Kenny from Perfect Game, and he agreed that the price needed to come down, but he said he would be willing to work with us and help us out. After talking to these tournament directors, we decided to change to B2B. We also changed our business model a little bit. We added a new problem and a new UVP. The new problem we added is corresponding delays. So for our UVP, we will be sending push notifications.
So overall, what we're asking for is $37,500 in exchange for 12.5% of our company. This will give us a post money value of $300,000. And what we plan doing at the end of 3 years is selling our business to a strategic buyer such as TeamSnap, Game Changer, or Turning Machine. And our money multiple after 3 years will give you 3.5 times as well as an IRR of 53.8%.
All right, well, we are a very driven team, but we need your help to knock it out of the park. So as always, we're Field Arrow, pointing you in the right direction, one tournament at a time. Thank you very much.
Your startup costs, how much is for actually building the app and this hosting servers and handling the operations side?
It's difficult to see how much app is going to cost, but we emailed a bunch of websites and they gave us ranges from $15,000 to $70,000, and the $70,000 is a very extravagant app, which it requires a lot of back end. We want to keep it more simple, so we have it at $30,000. We think that this will give us the app that we want that'll be simple.
And where are you getting the data for like weather cancellations and, you know, the stats I realize you're going to gather yourself, you're going to curate and enter in, but other data, like?
That would be coming from the tournament directors. That's why we need to have a relationship with them so that we have a consistent communication and we can keep up with their weather wherever they are, be it Wisconsin or Illinois.
So the director is the one that's going to have to take ownership of, are they going to have to call you to tell you that there's a delay game?
No,
or are they going to enter it in themselves?
They'll just it's just like kind of like Twitter. We'll just be like, okay, there's a weather delay for an hour and a half, sends it out. Everyone gets a push notification. They'll see, okay, my game's not at 1, it's at 2:30.
That question, your sales costs at $5,000, you've got the 20% commission that generates $5,000 to salespeople that you're not paying any salary, and that's going to cover how many sales?
We weren't sure. We just we knew that we had to hire staff, and we talked around. We said 20. We thought 20% was a good number. We
Yeah,
don't know
if
how
you're
many
just
we're
paying
gonna
them a commission of 20%, and that's
That's
$5,000, that's going to be
hire.
either very few sales for a high
Right.
commission or a lot of sales for no commission.
Right.
So I'm just questioning, you know, if you're going to sell directly to people, you need to pay somebody money to do that, and that's $5,000 not going to cover it.
Well, plus, I think that's very far down the road. I think, as of right now, I think that us 5, we would be able to manage a lot of the everyday operations for a good 3 years, and then once we expand, and once we start moving, that's when we're going to have to start hiring people. So that's why we're not 100% sure on those numbers yet.
Year 4 and 5, your SG&A didn't make any sense to me. It's very, very high.
Yeah, can you go back to that?
Year 5, you had $900,000 in SG&A, and year 4 was bad. So something's just not right there. You would not need, I don't know what the difference is between your gross profit and your anything, there's only SG&A. So I'm not sure. Normally, 20% would be about right. Maybe $300,000 would be your overhead. So you may want to look at years 4 and 5. It might be much more attractive than what you're showing.
Yeah, to that point too, the early years, someone's out there canvassing, taking pictures of what the area looks like, right, and saying, giving directions. the second year you have the event there, you don't have to do that, right? You've already done it once. You're 5 people right now. Emma's playing soccer, Dylan's playing football, the rest of you guys are doing something. Are you really committed to going out there and making this a full-time, at least part-time job to go get those? Because right now, you're late for this year, right, for these events? But you need to be fully committed, because to Brian's point, if your salespeople are gonna get 20%, they don't really have any real incentive to even start the process until such time as they get a sale. So that commitment, you need to do some reflecting on, because you gotta work, and you got your other things too, and I'm just kind of wondering, I think there's a gap there that Brian's trying to point out.
And when would your app be ready to actually sell?
We're hoping to be ready by around this time next year, so we can actually start servicing tournaments by the following summer.
So where's your revenue coming in year 1 if the first year is gonna take to build the app?
Well, that would be the year we
That
start.
would be the year 1 when we're starting.
Okay.
So year 1 really starts after the day you
Year
get
one
funded.
technically is next year.
Yeah.
I have a question of, I understand that you pivoted and decided rather than going directly to the consumer, you're doing B2B. But why tournaments versus the entire season? Walk me through that.
Okay, so the reason that we chose tournaments instead of following a team, for example, is because...
Not even a team, I mean, I just put it in my local terms, rather than, the tournament for soccer, why not the entire BASA season?
Yeah, or
Fall.
Field of Dreams, anything goes on.
Because Field of Dreams has like 4 or 5 fields, so our app wouldn't be very usable there.
No, but
Something
Barrington
like
Youth
that.
Baseball is beyond.
Right, so that's a lot of fields though. So that would require a lot more work, and there's not a lot of people that would be using our app. So it would just be that one team. So if we go to a large tournament down south that has 30+ fields, 1 million people could go through there every single year. And that would be a lot more teams and a lot higher quantity of people that would come through here, and then we'd be able to pick up a much higher amount of money.
Okay.
So
I'm just approaching this as a baseball mom with 3 sons. One year I had 60 baseball games in a month and a half, because they were each on a different team. That was just Barrington Youth Baseball, and I could have been in one of, 8 fields.
Yeah, we haven't really considered that. We can
But I
absolutely.
do like your answer, and I do like how targeted it is, because you will get 1 million people through those big fields. And from your limited sales resources, I think you did a good job in answering that.
Yeah, that's kind of
It's
interesting.
targeted, it's
in itself.
efficient.
Boy, just having the map of the fields. I mean, Margarita, how many times, you lived in a car. Okay,
Right.
the Elk Grove Center, yeah, where's that? 83 and what? Yeah, how do I get there? Just having that. And then the ability for the director to send out a tweet saying, hey, listen, we're on hold for an hour while this thunderstorm comes on. Those are very relevant outcomes that are very consumable.
So I was just interested in the logic, because I understand tournaments as a point of entry, but once you get into entire systems that last multiple months, if not half a year, then, and it's not just one team, I mean, Barrington Youth Baseball
Yeah.
has over a dozen.
What is the price of the product?
We're charging the $50 for each team, so they're going to raise the entry fee for the tournament.
Oh, so each team, when they enter a tournament, will pay $50 to
Yeah,
have
so-
access to the...
We talked to tournament directors. We had it at 100. They all said it was way too high.
Yeah, I was surprised. By the way, I compliment you on your research. It was good. I was surprised, $100. I
Yeah.
mean, But I was thinking that was for $100 for the whole tournament, and the tournament would pay that. But if you got 25 teams in a tournament, that's good.
And plus, what we forgot originally is that you have to factor in there's different age groups too. So it's not just a set of teams that's one age. It's that same set of teams, maybe not the same team, but it's multiple age groups.
Right.
So that can multiply your number by a lot.
Good.
What about your capital you've asked for was how much, 39 or something?
37,000.
37. And if we were to come back to you, that's a little pricey for us, and it's more in the 20 grand range, what would we lose?
Well, the quality of the app would probably have to go down, but we still need it for like a liquidity cushion, cumulative loss. But
So your biggest cost is the app?
yes,
And I heard your 15 to 70, I think you said. What price did you use in here?
30.
Use 30. Yeah, it's a good price. I think that's consistent with some other apps we've
First
seen.
phase.
Yeah, first phase.
Standings, who's gonna Who's updating those standings?
we-
So the three S's, right? Schedule, standings, and,
Statistics.
so who's, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because I want my kid hitting 800, right? But who's getting it in there?
I mean, we would have to go out there, and that'd be along with the stats, and that would actually definitely cost them more.
And another thing that we were saying is that now that the director doesn't have to do the stuff that he does now that he is this, he has more time to do this. So he's paying for this to help him out as well.
Yeah.
So he can just input all this right into our system, and then everyone can see it. It's not, a problem that they have right now is that a lot of them have a web page where they post all the information on, and people have to log onto the web page, and then even sometimes log in through an account to see like the information. But with an app, you just log right in and it's all right there.
Yeah.
So would, for example, baseball, would the baseball manager just be able to use your app as their score sheet as opposed to doing the little paper things?
Oh,
Because then you could have
there you
real,
go.
that's another
Now there's your
your
big
real-time
thing.
input.
Man.
And there's
Because Game Changer, that's what the coaches are doing, or the
Okay.
team mom, they're the ones working
So it's
that.
not my long paper sheets anymore.
Right, exactly.
I would encourage
I
you to
love
use
those
volunteers in the worst case scenario. There's some mom, there's some dad, there's
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
person that'll input all this data for you. And even if the first year only half the schools do it, it's not the worst case, because the ones that aren't doing it are gonna say, I want my kids in
Well,
there.
Right?
That really opens up the app a bit too,
Yeah.
because I kept score, and I love the paper, but if I had it on an iPad,
Yeah.
Right.
then it feeds right in. Now you've made things a lot easier for the tournament director, because I don't know how that tournament director can do this.
Right.
That person's mind is
Yeah.
kind of going a little
Absolutely.
bit crazy. They
But the
got
transparency.
1,000 kids there, they gotta move them all around, and the lightning strikes, that makes a lot of sense to me, how quickly that would be important.
The stats thing, it'd be like each kid could look at their own results. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, so now I got a consumable that I'm gonna pay a couple, I pay $5 to find out where Prospect High School is, because I don't know how to get there. But that's your audience, that's exactly who you are, you're gonna connect this to Barrington Youth Baseball and Softball and say, where am I today? Here's where it is, and then that consumable, I think that makes it a lot easier to use, because the manager or the event host doesn't have to do as much work.
What was your exit strategy?
Yes, that's
exiting
what I want to
after
talk
3 years to a strategic buyer like our competition like Team Snap or Game Changer.
What do you know about them?
So if we want to go back to the technology side, so basically the difference between us and all of these other companies is that they all have their own niches in the market of youth sports. So for example, Game Changer is specifically a stats app, and then they have push notifications for the stats. And then Team Snap is specifically like communication. So they're all kind of separate, and our idea is to bring all of these together. So I guess it would add a different element to these different groups. And since they already have a large market that they're already in and a bunch of people are already using, then they would be able to just take what we have and just put it right into their.
Have you actually looked at what kind of a financial structure those companies are?
We've
Are they publicly traded, or are they, a bunch of kids doing?
30 seconds.
They're established, but we don't know
we can
what
definitely.
they are on the market.
Yep, my
Are you
my
all-
concern on that is that they've already invested in apps and building out technology and stuff. I don't know what the value of buying your whole company is gonna bring to them, other than something patented or something unique that they don't have. Because they can easily go out and add push notifications if they need to. So I question your exit strategy. Is a viable, as an investor, are you really gonna be able to sell this, get the money?
Well, one thing, as an investor, I would say the biggest challenge you have here is scale. $1.5 million is not a big deal after 5 years of effort. Try to figure out how you can expand this and get a much bigger piece of pie, because they won't want to put capital behind $1.5 million in revenue in 5 years.
And you have to be fully committed after you graduate high school, because that's when this thing's gonna kick in.
Great opening, great job.
That-